Hey everybody, welcome to the Ron Line Report. Today's guest, very special guest. I've known him for a while, and now he's got the biggest title of his life. He is the 2025 Masters Olympia champion, preparing for his first Mr. Olympia in 6 weeks. Please welcome Dorian Haywood. Hey Dorian, what's up, man?
Happy, Ron.
So happy for you, man, because I've followed you. I've been to so many shows where I wish he was getting a better call out. I wish he was getting a better placing. This guy works. He keeps coming back and grinding and going. You never gave up, and this is persistence pays off. Exemplified is what we're looking at here.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have to get started. I want to get this out of the way now so that I'm not dwelling on it. The controversy over the win. Obviously, Phil Clahar very, very upset. We're talking almost 2 weeks now. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks since the show, and he's still making a ton of posts, as Matt from Muscle Discord, claiming that he was robbed, claiming that he was a rightful winner. They've never seen such a shift in points from judging to finals. But first of all, I want to ask you, before we get into detail on that, does it sort of bother you that we should be celebrating the victory, the title, the accomplishment, that this is a lifelong dream for you, and instead people are focusing on that?
Yeah, it's kind of kicking the pants, to be honest with you. I've been doing this forever, and I've done my best to get to where I am. So just to celebrate a victory, one of this nature, would be wonderful. But at the same time, it's like I get where Phil's coming from. I don't feel like he's really attacking me personally. He seems like he's attacking the judges more so than me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like this is a competition. I honestly think coming out of prejudging, I don't think I should have been all the way down to third. But I was, and I don't know if that's because I'm not sure if that's because they're trying to create some drama and how this plays out or what. If that's the case, it worked. But I'll give it to Phil. If you beat me in prejudging, good job.
Okay.
I won the night show. That was my show. In the night show I came on, I was confident. I was poised. I hit all my poses perfect. And I never really gassed myself to the point where I was like breathing heavy. So I was really good about controlling my midsection. And, I dominated that night show. And at the night show, if everybody was to watch just the night show, they would have seen I was the winner.
Yeah.
So I came in, I cleaned up, I did what I was supposed to do, I kicked ass, I won. And you can bitch as much as you want, but you're not going to change the outcome of that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm my head is at. Is I understand he's upset, and that him and his wife have gone on and on. They've made a million posts, but what do they think is going to happen? Do they think the IFBB is going to say, you know what, you're right, Dorian, give the trophy back, give him another 10 grand. We changed our minds. No, what's done is done, and whether if you compete, you have to accept the judge's decisions because it's a subjective sport that is judged. And a lot of times people aren't happy with the outcome. The only person that's ever 100% happy is usually the winner in any show I've ever been to in 35 years. So I just don't know what the point is of keep going on. Everyone's heard what he had to say. He's talking about suing the IFBB. Good luck with that. I'm sure they have some good lawyers. But, I just want to, moving forward, I hope the focus is on celebrating your accomplishment, your victory, and the fact that, I don't know if you ever thought you were going to go to Mr. Olympia. I'm sure it was a goal of yours your entire career, but now your qualification's there and it's coming up fast. It's a month and a half away now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, the victory was wonderful. But my goals beginning of the season was A, come in and win that show. B, qualify for the Olympia and do well in the Olympia. So as much as I wanted to qualify and enjoy the win, it's in my head I couldn't let myself go with the diet or anything. So I had to get right back into the grind and continue to improve for the Olympia. Yeah. Because yes, I was good enough to win the Masters Olympia, but that version of myself isn't the best version of myself. I think I peaked well for that show. But I can be better. I can come in a little bit tighter. I can really know my poses, especially right off the gate going prejudging. If I fix some of these little things, I think I'm going to be pretty competitive, and that's my goal. I'm taking on this Masters Olympia title. represent these older guys. And a long point with why Phil's disappointed. He thinks the judges are writing him off because he's too old. Well, I want to prove Phil right, and the guy that beat him is going to come in and do well in Olympia, and I want to represent all these Masters guys. And just because we're older doesn't mean that we're not competitive. So I want to come in and do my best to make a mark in this Olympia lineup, which is outstanding this year.
So are you 41, 42? How old are you now, Dorian?
I turned 43 July 30th, right before the Masters.
Oh, happy birthday. So looking at your physique and where the various looks that you've had over the years since you turned pro, do you feel you're at your best now, or do you feel like you peaked at a certain time? I mean, where do you think you're at right now?
Well, there's different qualities to the physique that kind of come and go. I've heard people say this look I put on the Masters Olympia was the best look I ever put on stage. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but I'll take it. I'm noticing with my age, some things are changing, but at the same time, it's like where my mind is. For example, used to be going into a show, I'd be so starved that I would do hours of food porn trying to figure out what I'm going to do after the show to eat. Now, I've been doing this so long, I've eaten all the food that I could possibly ever want to eat, but I haven't accomplished the wins that I want to accomplish as a pro. So my want for the win far exceeds my want to temporarily satisfy my appetite. So I have a mind shift, and I think that's really helpful. I'm focusing on being the best version of myself and doing the best I can do in these shows, not distracted by some other things.
Yeah. So who's your friend that helped you with your posing? It's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Adam Young.
Adam Young. So yeah, what was the deal? Because that seemed odd to me that Dorian knows how to pose. I mean, why would his poses be off? But what was going on with the poses that he fixed?
Well, here's the thing. Where I practice my posing in Armbrust Pro Gym, there's a specific type of lighting setup, and the lighting is at certain angles compared to where you position yourself. So I learned how to present the best version of myself in that lighting.
Okay.
The way that the Masters Olympia lighting was in Tokyo, it was different. So when I went to hit the poses the way that I learned how to do it, Adam could clearly see that I'm not showing off the best of my presentation. And, I can see it too, the difference between the videos and the morning and the night show. So he tweaked a couple things, just basically with my front lat spread and back lat spread, he had to lift my chest more and lean back more, especially in my back lat spread. Same thing with that back double bi. Instead of kind of leaning forward so I can make sure I get all the light on my back, I can lean back, and in that lighting in Tokyo, I still get all the light on my back, but it just kind of changes the angle a little bit. So it did look better. So I'm very thankful that Adam was there, because I think he's crucial in what helped me pull off the victory.
So you definitely did sharpen up. I mean, obviously I wasn't there, so I can't speak from someone who was in the audience, but from the videos, you did sharpen up condition-wise from judging to finals. I understand why Phil's upset, because Steve Weinberger, in his little wrap-up with the co-host backstage after, said that Phil fell apart. See, and tell me if you agree with what I'm thinking. I don't think Phil got worse, as Steve said. I think you just got better, and I would have probably made the same call, because to me, his midsection, it was just such a distraction to me. And you were both very evenly matched guys. The gentleman from the Italian guy was really good too, but I think it could have gone either way. But I had no problem. But here's the moment of the announcement. Do you agree that you got better and he basically stayed the same, or do you think he did get worse?
Let me run it down for you, Ron.
Okay.
And let me prelude by saying Phil's a friend, and I'm being critical of him, but it's not to be disrespectful. And I'm doing this specifically because this is part of what I want. So in the prejudging, I think I didn't do as good in prejudging as I should have or could have, because I kind of blew my load before I got off stage. Doing everything I needed to do to kind of like pump up, get the shoulders going, get the chest going, make sure all this muscle's alive and full by the time I hit the stage. Then once I hit the stage in prejudging, it's like I want to kick some ass, and I was really pushing myself to pose hard and beat these guys. So by the end of prejudging, I was kind of gassed and breathing heavy. And I could see why they kind of knocked me down because I kind of lost it there at the end of prejudging.
Mm.
I learned from that. So as I'm getting ready, and I gotta say, prejudging did kick my ass.
Mm.
I met with Adam right afterwards. I had a small meal. It was 4 ounces of chicken and some cream of rice right after that. Then I laid down for about 2.5 hours and didn't move. It kicked my ass. So I kind of got my mental focus back on game, got ready for the finals, started pumping up a little bit. I didn't want to go back on stage making the same mistake that I did earlier in the day, pump up too much and exhaust myself before I can finish finals. Okay? So I did that. But I also saw Phil backstage. He was going wild, pumping up hard, push-ups in between every single round. And I honestly think that hurt him because when I was on stage with him, I saw him breathing and I saw him letting his belly go. So as soon as I started seeing that, that made me think, I'm going to take this. So I was very strategic, and when I was watching Phil, I was watching all the competitors. And if I could keep Phil in any way, I think he just pushed himself a little bit too much to pump up before the finals. And that kind of exhausted him on stage to the point where he couldn't control his midsection. And it opened up the door for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I prefer, I prefer your physique in a couple of ways. I would have been happy for him 81. I'm happy for you. You guys all work so hard. Anytime anybody wins, I'm very happy for that person because this is not an easy sport. It's 24/7. It's 12 months out of the year. You never get a chance to take a break. Tell me about Japan though, because I've never been to Japan. Most Americans have never been to Japan. I assume it was your first time there. What were your overall impressions of the country and the people?
I wish I could have a little bit more cultured and moving around because the only city I was in was Tokyo. One thing that stood out, as soon as I flew in, it was hot and humid, kind of like Florida. And the first 3 days, me just kind of like settling in. I went to the athletes meeting. I went to the grocery store. I was just focused on resting and getting my meals in and getting right and doing what I needed to do to win this show. So I didn't really do much, but the show came. I won the show. I got to celebrate with some friends afterwards. Next day, I got to explore the city and see everything I wanted. I ended up coming home from Tokyo a couple of days early just because I wanted to get back in the grind and start prepping for Mr. Olympia. But some of the things that stood out to me, the nature of the culture, some of the people there are very respectful for bodybuilding. They understand the grind that it takes. They understand the dedication, the hard work, sacrifice. And they're also impressed by the muscle. So every place I went, people were wanting to get pictures and shake my hand and arms. And, it's not like that here in the States. I've been down to like Mexico and other countries that kind of act similar. But Japan, it was the same way in the fact that they were very interested in big bodybuilders. Another thing I thought was interesting, there's no garbage cans in the place. You got garbage, you take it with you, take it home.
You can't there's nowhere to throw your garbage away? Is that what you said?
Garbage.
Wow. You also said in another interview that was you didn't see any obese people, Japanese people.
No, the food there is really clean for the most part. And I didn't see anybody who's morbidly obese. It's like I remember going, I think you were there too, the Indy Pro in like 2021.
Yeah.
And I'm from Indiana. So when I went back to Indiana, I was shocked at how many obese people there were. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. But let's be traveling for a trip for bodybuilding. Here I am again traveling for a trip for bodybuilding in Japan, and just seeing all these people who they look almost identical. I don't see anybody extremely fat. I don't see anybody extremely small. They all kind of look the same, healthy.
Man, that is crazy. I mean, yeah, you said you don't see any people that are like really big and muscular. I mean, we don't have a ton here either. It's not like we do, but
wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, the sumo wrestlers are probably the only big guys, I guess.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about your longtime coach, Dave, because I know you wish you could have been there. I mean, I only knew him from the shows, But I love Dave. He was like the first guy I would always head over to and start talking to at the athletes meetings and between judging or whatever. First of all, how long were you working with Dave as a coach?
8 years.
8 years, yeah. And so did he turn you pro? Were you already a pro when you met him?
No, we spent one season together and went pro.
Wow.
I was knocking on the door. I was getting close, but working with Dave, I really had that breakthrough season.
Yeah, and he was such a good coach in the sense that, I mean, he was so passionate. He wanted you to win, I think, even more than you wanted to win. That's the impression I always got from talking to him. He was incredibly supportive. I mean, every coach should be, but I think he was that extra level of concern and encouragement and support. How long has it been since he passed now?
Been about a year and a half.
About a year and a half.
Funny. I think he believed in me more than I believed in myself sometimes.
Yeah.
And you can see shows. If it turned out to come out the way that he thought it should, he'd get emotional. Like he'd get animated. And it's really good to see a coach who's so invested in their client. And I was with him so long, he eventually turned out to be my best friend. And I talked to Dave more than anybody I talked to on earth before he left.
Yeah, I mean,
it was really hard.
Sorry to interrupt. How did you go about finding a new coach? Because going from someone that you were that close to someone brand new, I can't even imagine that challenge.
Well, it was kind of a gamble, and I wasn't sure I wanted a new coach. And to pick up Ariel Cuts about midway through my off season, and have him prepare me for a show of this caliber, it's kind of a gamble because we've never gone through the whole process. But retrospectively, I'm glad that we did because we pulled out a win. But before Dave passed, he told me, he's like, "Hey man, anything ever happens to me, I want you to work with this Ariel Cuts guy." And he told Ariel, he goes, "Hey man, if anything ever happens to me, I want to make sure you take care of Dorian." So he kind of set us up. And last season, I did that season without a coach, and I coached myself. And it just kind of got to me. The last piece of advice Dave gave me was work with Ariel. So I'm going to follow through with it.
Okay, cool.
Live it out.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, he did a fantastic job. I mean, I think this is the best you've ever looked. I mean, I probably have seen you 10 times on stage, 10 or 12 times.
Oh yeah.
You've come close. I think were you fourth at Tampa one year when I was there?
I think you were at the New York Pro in Tampa where I got pulled.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good look. I did have to ask one more question because if I don't, I'm going to slap myself. During the judging, I should say after judging concluded, you held up Phil Clahar's hand, and him and his wife feel that was an acknowledgement that you were saying, "Here's your winner, everybody." I could see it being either that or sometimes after a tough fight, boxers or fighters will hold up each other's hands just as a respect thing. What was that? When you held up his hand, were you saying this is the winner, Phil Clahar?
No.
Okay. I mean, that's why I'm asking.
So I know Phil poured his heart and soul into this. He says he took 18 weeks to get ready for the show, and he's put a lifetime of work in to put himself in the position to have the physique he has. And I respect his grind. I respect his mindset that he came in to win the show. And I just held his hand up to be like, "Look, this guy's a champion too." And I respect that guy. So more like you said, it's like a fighter holding up the other fighter's hand because he respects his effort.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And I'm not going to rub it in their face like, "Ha ha, see, it wasn't what you thought it was." I just thought it could have been one of two things, and I wanted to see which one it was. And you're the only person that could possibly know the answer to that question. So
yeah, I know it was a dog fight. And just the way I came in the finals, it's like I had a lot of confidence, and I thought the way that I performed, that I took the show and could easily be the winner. So I just wanted to make sure that if he didn't win, that he knows he's respected.
Right on. Right on. All right, cool. All right, well, that's all I'm going to say about that show and that thing in particular. Let's move on because you are getting ready for the Olympia. You just posted this, and I can't play Wolf Mother Joker and the Thief or else YouTube will give me a copyright strike, but I love that song. So this was today or yesterday?
I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, and I mean, this is
Friday for reference.
This is already better condition, I think, than the Masters right here.
Yeah, I feel I'm leaner here already.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't post a lot of updates going into Masters. I was trying to keep track of your progress, but you were keeping things pretty covered up for the most part, from what I could see. But this is if this is 6.5 weeks out, and you're going to drop another. I know it's not a body weight thing, but you don't have much to lose. A couple more pounds beyond this because you're going into this show. I don't think anyone expects the Masters Olympia champ to do very well in the Olympia. And I'm not saying you're going to be a top 5, top 6 guy or anything like that, but you could surprise a lot of people. You have a chance to make a lot of people shocked. I mean, what's your game plan heading into this?
Well, that's exactly it. And I almost feel like, I'm glad I got to pull off the win at the Masters though. But like I said, I wasn't the best that I could be. I was on for that show, but I needed to be a little bit leaner, and I needed to nail my posing. So I think if I can correct those things, that's going to make me a formidable opponent to a lot of these people in this lineup. It's going to make me a threat. And I also think that the judges will see my improvement from show to show, and they'll reward that.
Absolutely. I mean, so there's also been talk about the Masters. Like some people would say they didn't do, Phil and his wife, they didn't do much to promote it. It's over in Japan, which, that's probably who was agreed to host it and pay for everything is the promoter in Japan. I get that. But, the Masters Olympia used to have a little more coverage, a little more hype around it when it was guys like, I remember Vince Taylor. I'm going way back now when I say like Robbie Robinson, Lou Ferrigno. That was the first year. Even Dexter was the winner in 2012 before the contest went away for a while. How could you, if it was up to you, if the IFBB said, Dorian, we're going to make you the ambassador for the Masters Olympia. We want you to brainstorm with us and figure out how can we get this show more prestigious, more interest in it. What are some ideas that might pop into your head for them?
There's several. I kind of talked about one. I never won a major show. I won the Daytona Beach show to qualify for this. Outside of that, I haven't won a pro show since I've been a pro.
Wow.
So my pedigree doesn't look outstanding. However, I did win the show because I was good. And if I could come into the Mr. Olympia and make a statement and say, hey, these Masters guys aren't fucking around, they're quality. I think that's going to bring a little bit more respect to that whole Masters class. Because when you're looking at some of these champions who have done this in the past, there's been 8 Masters Mr. Olympia in the past, and Vince Taylor's won it 5 times.
Yeah.
I want to say most of the guys who have won have had a large pedigree and very successful career. Look at Dexter Jackson. Jesus, he's before him was Claude Brulix. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Claude.
Claude Brew, from Canada. Yep.
Yeah. And, I give him respect. He was a good bodybuilder at the time, but he's not like a previous Mr. Olympia. Neither am I. And before that, I think it was Youngblood. Youngblood ended up beating Taylor out. So I think a lot of fans, they like to see these guys who have been previous champions with a large pedigree. Yeah. I mean, why didn't Phil do it? They didn't pay him enough money. Why didn't Kai do it? They didn't pay him enough money.
Yeah.
Those are 2 guys who would make this show seem so much bigger than it is. I mean, we could have Brandon Curry do it, but he didn't.
Yeah, Bonac is older than you. William Bonac's 44.
Yeah, Bonac is in there. Now, coming up, this next match, we can see guys like Andrew Jack. You can see guys like Sergio Olivia Jr. So I think it's just a matter of making this kind of an all-star studded event like it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to rule myself out saying I'm not an all-star. Now,
I mean,
but I think those guys aren't showing up to this show because A, it's not convenient for them, or B, they're not paying them enough money to be there.
yeah. No, I agree with all that. I mean, I believe they've said it's going to be in Baltimore, Maryland. It's 2 years. They do it every 2 years, I guess. But yeah, I agree that even I didn't cover it. And Phil was like, Ron, why didn't you cover it? He thought I was avoiding it because of the controversy. And full disclosure, which I've said in one of my lives, I said, there wasn't a lot of interest in the show. And the reason is because there weren't a lot of big names. If those people, my goodness, if we had not Dexter, he's done. He's not going to compete anymore. But Phil, Bonac, Rolly Winkler, if we had Brandon Curry, if we had names like that, people would have been very interested in the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, fans go where the big names are. I've learned that just as a YouTube guy. When you have contests with the bigger names in them, that's when people want to watch. So I guess I guess it's convenience, and Baltimore is a lot more convenient for most of these guys than Tokyo or Chechnya, wherever they were thinking of holding it in Dubai or something. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Romania 2 years ago. You're right. I mean, that was a hike too. But yeah, these are all great ideas. So Jake Wood, Dan, whoever's listening, listen up and let's go, because they have 2 years to make some changes and get some more things going in this.
Well, this Masters Olympia show we did have it 2 years ago, and Kamal won. Awesome. Right. But before that, they didn't have this show for a decade. So I feel this show is just starting to like gain traction again and have its place. So this is just the second time it's been back in over a decade. If they keep it going as a continuous thing, it's going to get more and more popular every year.
Dorian, what do you think about having it on? I know the Olympia weekend's got so much going on already, but I still think having it with the Olympia weekend would be a lot more convenient for most fans. I mean, most fans aren't going to go all the way to Romania or Tokyo or anywhere just for one show, the Masters, Olympia, or anything. But if it's part of the Olympia weekend and they're already in Vegas, I assume it's always going to stay in Vegas. You know, I understand the logistics. It's another event, but you know what? They're adding classes. They're going to add fit model next year, for God's sake. If you can have a fit model Olympia at the Olympia weekend, why can't you have a Masters Olympia on the Olympia weekend? Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
Now, here's why I disagree. There's qualification series A to get in to do the Masters Olympia. B, if you win the Masters Olympia, then you can qualify to do the Mr. Olympia. So sometimes you'll see like over in Europe, like the amateur shows, they'll do the amateur pro qualifier first. Then the winner of that show will turn around the next day and compete with the pros.
Yeah.
So if you did the Masters Olympia that way, where the winner of the Masters will qualify for the O, you can turn around and compete the next day, I think that would be kind of cool. But the only reason I made it to the Olympia, I've been competing for 28 years. In 43 years of being alive, this is the first time I qualified for the Olympia. It might be the last. So this was my opportunity to qualify for that show. And if this wasn't a qualifier, I probably wouldn't be in the Olympia still. So there's my rebuttal. I used this as my Olympia qualification. I needed this.
Right. Well, I mean, it actually makes sense to what you just proposed, because I've been to shows where they have the Pro-Am, and I've seen people go in some divisions go from amateur to winning the pro division the next day. I've seen that in like Toronto one year. I remember that happened. But still, so if your finals were on Friday night for Masters, let's say, and then, well, no, because the Friday they do the Olympia judging. So your finals would have to be done before Friday night, I guess. But whoever's listening and can make this happen, I would like to see that, even though it's going to make a longer. That's going to be the argument. Oh, now the show's going to go on until they keep adding divisions anyway. At this point? What does it matter? You know, we're in for the long haul. You know, you're not going to sleep on Olympia weekend if you're a fan or a media person. It's our Olympia. It's our biggest show of the year. You miss a couple hours sleep, nah. Oh well, big deal. What else do I want to say? Cool. I want to go back to your Instagram because I feel you're a champion in another way, Dorian. You ready for this? Yes. Look at this. Is this your fiance, girlfriend, partner?
That's
Okay.
not my
Fiance? Is that what you said?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
That's Monique.
Okay.
Yeah, she's something like that. She's basically my wife.
Okay.
The poor thing, she kind of had a bad situation moving over here. And I don't want to go into details about it because it's kind of incriminating for somebody who's going to be doing Mr. Olympia, not me. But she came over here to compete in the NPC and try to get her IFBB pro card. I think she was kind of led on by some people thinking that they were going to help her. And it's like, as soon as she got here, shit hit the fan. And I was talking to her for several months on IT, and I said, hey, we get along well. I think you're super attractive. How about I come and meet you in Las Vegas? So I went out there to meet her. There were sparks. We got along great. And I ended up coming out on a Wednesday, and I left on a Saturday. And by the next Thursday, she was back here in Denver, and she hasn't left since.
Wow. Okay. Oh, so she's still in the USA, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You never know these days because it's tough for some people from other parts of the world here in the USA now, as we know. I'm not going to get into politics, but okay, I just want to show that because I thought she's beautiful, and I like to show beautiful women on my videos.
And beautiful, and she's been very encouraging in terms of like being a good workout partner, as well as kind of keeping my mind in a healthy place as I was going through prep. It's been very helpful, and she's very ambitious. So I hope us teaming up together is not only going to be something good for our love life and our relationship, but also we can bring her goal of becoming an IFBB pro to fruition.
Right on. Is she bikini, wellness? What division?
She's got such good genetics and such a good figure. She can do anything she wanted and do well with. But she's done bikini over in Europe, and between me and Dylan Armbruster, we think it's the best idea for her just to stay bikini because it's going to help maintain her femininity, and she's not going to have to do anything extreme to get much bigger. But she's already there. She's got everything she needs.
Oh, I mean, figure you got to be big for figure now.
Yeah.
Figure and women's physique are like almost. I can barely tell them apart now. They're very, very close. So I just want to wrap it up talking about this Olympia coming up because, like I said, that's every bodybuilder's dream. Everyone that's ever competed, they want to be on that Mr. Olympia stage, and it's 6 weeks. We're at 6 weeks now, right? Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Today's Friday. 6 weeks exactly.
Yeah, judging. So you'll be up 6 weeks from tonight. You're going to be up there with Samson Dauda, Hadi Chupan, Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, Andrew Jack, Martin Fitzwater. It's going to be an incredible Olympia. I think one of the best we've had in many years. How excited are you, dude? This is going to be a killer show.
I'm very excited. And to be honest with you, I came out of the Masters Olympia thinking, hey, great, I qualified for Olympia. I'm looking at this lineup. I'm like, God damn, these guys are good. Yeah. If I don't come in at 100%, I'm going to be competing for last place.
Yeah.
And you said that in one of your previous interviews, too. You said about whoever qualifies from the Masters Olympia because they're not going to have much of an impact.
Right. I believe that. Unless.
Well, I'm going to make you eat those words, Ron.
Please. You know what I always say, Dorian? I say, I love being proved wrong. I love it. I love it.
I know I've got some of the best glutes and hamstrings in the league. If I can get them lean to the point where they're shredded, that makes me a very dangerous guy in this lineup.
Yeah. It's not.
The muscle is there. Coming out of the Olympia, doing this Masters Olympia, I'm thinking, I don't want to get last.
Right.
As I go through the next week of training, I'm posing every day, and I'm seeing myself getting full, and I'm seeing my body still getting leaner after the show.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to gather some confidence. I'm like, you know what? No, I might not be fighting for last. I've got a chance here to really make an impact. So, to what level that impact is, we're about to find out. But I'm going to do my very best to be my best on that day, and hopefully the judges reward it and it's respectful among the community.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I really am hoping. I'm hoping you do get a good look. I want you to place better than last. I mean, I don't know how many guys a I think we only have two more shows to qualify. So there's only going to be 2 more people in the show that aren't in the lineup right now. I think it's around 25 total. I'll have to look and see where we're at now, but
I want to say by the end of the season there should be 23 competitors.
yeah. So I'm really rooting for you.
The ones who can actually make it to the States. So I don't know if Beirut's going to make it.
True. So yeah, I mean, I root for the older guys. I'm a lot older than you. I'll be 56 in a couple weeks, but I want to see. I like to see the older guys show that they're still competitive. And it's crazy. There's not that many young guys anymore anyway. Bodybuilders at the pro level are older now than they used to be. It's definitely changed since the old days. But 43 is like not even that. I think that's how old Roden was when he won the Olympia.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you've got time to get better and better. 6 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it, and I will be watching from home and rooting for you and all the other guys, because this is a hell of a tough sport. All you guys work so hard, and you deserve all the recognition in the world for it, all the respect, and that's it, man. So thank you very much for your time, Dorian.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ron. Appreciate it, man.
All right, cool. And I want to encourage people to give you a follow there on Instagram. It's easy, DorianHaywood.ifbbpro. Check him out there. And that's it. Thanks for watching Ron on Report with your 2025 Masters Mr. Olympia, Dorian Haywood. We will see you